Yo, what's going on, everyone? Dylan here, and today is the day I'm revealing version 1 of what I'm calling Riftwalker, an idea to content accelerant agent. And basically, what this is a full blown automation. And by the end of this video, I'll show you how to speed up the idea to content creation cycle. So, if you're an entrepreneur, online business owner, founder, maybe you own a brand, you definitely want to stick around to the end because I'm going to walk you through a live demo of how this actually works in real time and how you can apply it to your business to generate content instantly. So let's just take a step back and look at the current state of the content creation cycle in 2025. And it takes time to get to the creation, right? We have to go to the tools. We have to start creating this, like maybe it's Canva for you or it's on app. And then we have to post it. Now, the things that many people don't really talk about is that it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of expertise for each of these parts of the method to happen. And so the first friction point you'll come across is from the idea to creation point, which is like, I have this brilliant idea. Maybe I'm out there having a coffee with a friend, or I'm walking on the beach, going for a drive, or I'm in the gym, whatever it is. And I get this amazing download and I'm like, that would make an amazing piece of content. But the problem is I've got to get to my laptop or I've got to delegate it to a team member. And by the time it actually reaches through to it being posted into the ether, into the online environment, it might have lost its flavor. It might have lost its true, zest of when it first arrived with you. And so Riftwalker, along with everything else I'm building, is really about creating a lifestyle that decreases the idea to creation process. Another thing is you might be at a skill deficit. And so when you have an amazing idea, you might just not have the skills, right? You might not have the tools available to actually make it a reality. The other side of the problem is, like, once it's created, you might be on the platforms, say Instagram, for example, and you might be caught doom scrolling. Like 5 minutes later, you might be down a rabbit hole and be like, how did I get here? And I think we're all guilty of that. And so if we're not really conscious and aware when we're creating, we can end up becoming the consumer. The other thing is this leads to, imposter syndrome, comparison games, and ultimately, is this particular piece of content on brand for me? Is it authentic and unique? And so you can start to have all these doubts or limiting beliefs creep in. And so the beautiful thing with Riftwalker is it eliminates all of that. And so what it does is it simply allows you to receive the idea, receive the download, and post it instantly. And so this first iteration of Riftwalker is an automatic voice to carousel generator. So that's the specific angle at which we're going at the moment. And again, the whole idea is decreasing the idea to creation gap. And so some common questions before I get to the live demo are, why carousels, and what's the current issues or problems with current forms of AI generated content? Well, why carousels? Well, first of all, in 2025, carousels have become a staple lead gen preference and source for many online niches, including coaching, consulting, digital or info products, courses, e-commerce, service-based businesses, SaaS, affiliates, and content creators. And so while Reels generally get more views, it's the carousels that I believe do a better job at attracting buyers. And so if you're in the online game for business and you want to make some money, right, then carousels are the answer in my opinion. And the reason is because consumers can inform themselves at their own pace. And this is something that I don't think we give enough credit to, is that reels are so easy to binge because they're so highly visual. But if my attention just drops off for a few seconds of that reel, I might have missed, a couple of key moments. The other thing is they don't require sound to be on. I can really digest the beliefs. I can really digest the content at my own speed, like I mentioned, and they double as great ad assets and lead magnets, introducing people to your world. Here's some stats here. They get 22% more comments than average or regular posts. They also convert 3 times better than single images, which is pretty obvious, but just super great for lead generation. And so here's an example or a case study of my good friend, Dan Bolton, who does about 100K a month in his online consulting business. And as you can see by his profile, 5 of his top 6 posts, with 3 of them being pinned, are all carousels. And so the other question people ask are like, what are the current problems with other AI generated content? The problem is you fall into one or two categories. The first is it looks really tacky. it's all looking the same at the moment, and that's because it's still very early days for this sort of stuff. But what happens is your brand starts to fall into the noise of every other brand. You start to get really unoriginal, off-brand images that don't really make sense with the aesthetic you're trying to push across. So this is really critical if you're trying to break through the noise and have really aligned content for your audience. The other thing is that, maybe you're not using that, but maybe you're using trends. And so there was this viral trend that went around a few months back of like the figurine. And so I saw everyone and their dog using this. But the problem with this is that it's common, and you kind of just start to fit into the narrative of everyone else. And we don't really want to be doing that if the whole goal is to stand out in a crowded, noisy online marketplace. So now I'm going to walk you through a live demo of how Riftwalker works real time, so you guys can get a grip and understanding of how you could implement it into your own business or brand. But before I do, I'm going to base this carousel on the design of Zach's profile here. Zach Gravitas is, really high-end creative dude, has some awesome content, and I really like his style here with the minimal font, small, not in the way, and has some really on-brand filters for him. And so he's speaking to creatives, right? And so it really matters in his brand that he has these kinds of things present in his carousels. So here we are inside the input channel, and you guys can set this up, for whatever input channel you want. I've chosen Telegram. Basically, here's the bot. All I have to do is click record here, say my idea, and then just confirm the images to make sure that they're on brand, and the whole aesthetics on brand. And then I can just simply click post, and it will post it to my Instagram. So I've got a pre-made idea right here. I'm going to show this on computer, but I could definitely just do this on my phone right now. So let's hold down record. Most people are building businesses for freedom, but their tools enslave them. If your content strategy requires you to spend 4 hours on Instagram, you're not sovereign, you're farmed. Offline luxury is about building systems that let you express your genius, then get back to living. Because the future isn't about being more visible, it's about being vital. You don't need more apps, you need less friction. So let's start off with that one, guys. Obviously 30 seconds. I've done ones before that are up to like 5+ minutes, and that one's a bit more polished, but you can definitely just spitball. And the beautiful thing with this automation is it's going to distill and pick out the best threads that you've mentioned inside your post, or idea rather. And so here we go. This is just loading right now. It typically takes anywhere from 30 seconds to a couple of minutes. And as you can see, it's already prompting with the first one. There's a photo of me golfing. They sold you on a dream of freedom while selling you digital handcuffs. Pretty awesome hook, if I do say so myself. Something that would be on brand for me. And so all we need to do now is just wait for the allocated carousels or slides to come out. So slide 2 would be, if your content strategy requires 4 hours on Instagram, you're not an entrepreneur, you're a digital sharecropper. The algorithm owns your attention. Your notifications own your nervous system. Your phone owns your creativity. I like that one too. And so this is going to spit out, I believe it's about 7 at this point. I've got it set to 7 slides. And real sovereignty isn't posting from exotic locations. It's building systems that work while you're completely unreachable. It's expressing your genius, then disappearing. No badge of honor, and being always on. So again, very on brand with what I mentioned up here in the audio. So far, all the images are on brand as well, which is important. This one is, there's 3 shots of me now. And so this will just be up to you guys, what kind of images you input into the folder when you're setting this up. But basically, if you made had a good variety of different images, maybe they are of you or more lifestyle pics like this one, then you're getting a nice balance. So for this one, for example, obviously of the snow, pretty clean. Offline luxury isn't about escaping technology. It's about using it properly as a lever, not a leash. So again, really creative copy here, definitely on brand. Another one of me. You don't need more apps. You need less friction. You don't need more followers. You need more flow. The future belongs to those who can think clearly without digital interference. And so this is really like punchy, right? And this is what I love about this, the prompt engineering we've done here with Riftwalker is that it's really about shifting beliefs. And I think obviously if you're an online brand, coach, whatever it is, that's like the main thing you need to be pulling through in your carousels. Build systems that serve your genius, not drain it. Let your work echo while you live. Cool. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I believe that's completed. Now I'm going to quickly show you what happens if I didn't like a particular image or caption. So let's just take like this one, for example, because let's just say I don't want too many pictures of myself. I'll just click replace image. And what it's going to do now is going to regenerate that particular image without changing the caption. And so again, it'll just take 30 seconds or so. It'll spit out the new image. And the same goes for the caption. If I didn't like a particular caption, here it is here. And you can tell if it's new by this emoji here. So it's changed the background, same caption. Now, if I didn't like the caption, let's just take, I don't know, they're all pretty good. This is the problem. But for the sake of the example, I mean, I'll just forfeit, this one, for example. We'll click replace caption, and then we'll wait another 10, 20 seconds, and it will spit out a new caption for us to use. And so while this is loading, guys, if you do like these sorts of systems, if you want these inside your own business, I'll send them to you for free. Just message me on Instagram, Riftwalker, and I'll send you the automation and playbook and how you can set this up for your own brand. Cool. So it's replaced the caption here. Same image now. If you're building your brand means 4 hours glued to Instagram, you're not running a business, you're tending someone else's digital garden. The app dictates your focus, your alerts hijack your mind, your screen captures your imagination. So still on brand for me here. And now that I've got all my, images set, all I have to do is scroll up here and then click post to Instagram. And so now that's going to load on my Instagram without me having to even be on the app. And what's really beautiful is this literally took me, T minus, 3-4 minutes at most, right? And so I could literally be walking on the beach. I could be in a car. One thing I've been playing with is just turning this on when I'm having a conversation over coffee with a friend. And so it can pick up on both of what we're talking about. And so long as I don't let it run, beyond 9 or so minutes and make sure to click enter, it'll pick up on the conversation and build that into my brand as well. And so it's really good for collaboration. You can honestly just do this anywhere. And what I love most is you're not having to stall with your ideas. You're allowing downloads to hit you and then instantly get them on there into the ether. And that's really what I want to build out here with Offline Luxury is more lifestyle and how we can, bring that into the real world or the online world as quick as possible. Yes, and apparently I dropped fire. So now let's go and check out the Instagram and I'll show you guys the finished result. Here on my Instagram, and as you guys can see, the carousel is posted. So it's appearing here. I actually forgot to do this to my dummy account, so it's on my main account. So I'm going to delete this in a moment, but just for the sake of it, going to show you what it looks like on the app. So again, haven't had to do anything on Instagram. Simply just ran Riftwalker and it's done. And so now I can boost the post. I can run it as an ad. I can do all that good stuff to get the audience more nurtured. But again, guys, if you enjoyed this, let me know. Subscribe to the channel. And if you want the automation, just send me a DM, Riftwalker. Here is my Instagram here. Just send it to me on Dylan Mac and we can talk. Hope you're doing well. Otherwise, sending you love from wherever you're at in the world. We'll talk soon.